The Iranian female soccer team is still stranded in Australia, pledging that they won't send them back to Iran because they are afraid to be kidnapped, imprisoned, tortured, most likely sexually violated, and then executed. It all started when they refused to sing the national anthem of the Iranian Islamic regime as they were playing in a football competition in Australia. Now what happened is immediately after they received direct threats because the coach basically, you see the coaches when it comes to these countries are basically like the mafia henchmen. They're there to make sure that their team does the best to present their country, but also threaten their team that if they dare to speak a word, we have your family hostage back in Iran. So he often goes through their phones, checking their chats, and also trying to see if they talk to anyone later on, investigate on them. So what happened after the first game, they went inside, they got threatened and locked in the hotel, and in the next game, they actually came and stood there and sang the anthem. That's because their families were threatened that they will be killed in Iran, or when they go back to Iran, they will be tortured and killed. It reached to the point that they were so afraid that on the way on the bus, they were holding the sign of like, help us, all kind of signatures, please, because they had the coaches and the Iranian team, standing with them in the bus, monitoring them. Now, why am I sharing this? Because I don't see that enough feminists around the world are talking about this. So I'm going to try to explain it to you to help you better understand, because this should be something that everybody right now should be talking about, including FIFA. I haven't heard a statement from FIFA coming and defending these female athletes. Why is that? Why is the world all the time ignoring the crimes that are happening under radical Islam? It's just mind-blowing. So you see, some of these girls allegedly even fled the hotel and went into Australia to seek asylum to the police and etc. The others were locked in the hotel, not allowed to go. And some of them were just very, very afraid because they were told that if they don't go back to their country, their family will be tortured and killed. But they were also declared as traitors. Here you can see this video as he comes and says that.
با خائنین در زمان جنگ باید شدیدتر برخورد کرد. هر کسی که یه قدمی علیه کشور تو شرایط جنگی برمی‌داره باید شدیدتر باش برخورد کرد. مثل این ماجرای سرود ملی نخوندن تیم فوتبال زنانمون و اون عکسی که منتشر شده، اینا که حالا کاری ندارم، با اینها باید شدیدتر برخورد کرد. این دیگه یه حرکت اعتراضی نمادین و فلان و اینا نیست. این که تو بری اونجا سرود ملی نخونی، این اوج بی‌شرفی و بی‌وطنیه. هم مردم هم مسئولین با اینا به عنوان خائنین زمان جنگ برخورد کنن. نه اینکه حالا یه اعتراضی داشتن و یه کار نمادین کردن. ننگ بی‌شرفی و خیانت باید رو پیشونی اینا بمونه، جدا باید باشون برخورد درست حسابی هم بشه.
Now, traitors in Iran usually face the fate of imprisonment, torture, and often death by hanging. When it comes to women, it also includes flocking, sometimes throwing acid on their face, plucking their eyes or their tongues, basically symbolism of how dare you criticize the Islamic regime, how dare you criticize the mullahs, and etc. and etc. So these girls right now are terrified. They got all the way that Donald Trump even sent this letter. Let me read it for you. I just spoke to the Prime Minister Anthony Albanese of Australia concerning the Iranian national women's soccer team. He's on it. 5 have already been taken care of and the rest on their way. Some, however, feel they must go back because they are worried about the safety of their families, including threats to those families' members if they do not return. In any event, the Prime Minister is doing a very good job having to do with this rather delicate situation. God bless Australia, President Donald Jr. Trump. Australia is making a terrible humanitarian mistake by allowing the Iran National Women's Union.
He says he is on it. 5 have already been taken care of, and the rest are on their way. Some, however, feel they must go back because they are worried about the safety of their families, including threats to those family members if they don't return. In any event, the Prime Minister is doing a very good job having to do with this rather delicate situation. God bless Australia from President Trump.
Either way, you see it's a very complicated situation. Very complicated situation that is not getting enough attention. And I feel like it's very, very important because not only that these girls are begging to be protected, but their families, their brothers and sisters, their mothers and fathers are there. They're just terrified for them. The Iranian regime it's part of their strategy. What they do is when they send these soccer teams, they already know that we know where your families are. We have them in the reach of our hands. And if you even dare to say a word, we will execute your family. So that is the level of fear that these innocent girls are facing. And ladies and gentlemen, this is Iran. This is Iran that Tucker Carlson is trying to defend. This is Iran that Candace Owens, Nick Fontizi, and all these guys are trying to tell you that they're the good guys and America is the bad guys, Israel is the bad guys. But that is literally the Islamic regime in Iran, and what is it doing to its women and children, to its citizens. And that's why we should stand, and I'm just surprised that the entire West is now rallying behind the American and Israeli right now operation in Iran to try to take down that regime and stop him from getting a nuclear bomb, let alone from keep oppressing and killing its own women and children. Why isn't this a nationwide shout by everyone, all the nations in the West? Why aren't they rallying behind this? Why aren't all the feminists and activists right now standing up for that? You stood for Palestine when there was nothing to stand for. There was a bunch of terrorists who kidnapped babies and didn't want to give them back, but you all went in the streets for that. But why aren't you going in the streets right now for this? Here, let me show you a very interesting video. I just saw it, but I find it helps you understand how does media work in places like Iran. I think it's Jennifer Aniston. I'm not so sure. I saw it for the first time today.
And you have devoted your entire life to this sport. Why do you love it? What does it give you?
وقتی که ماسک تو میزنی میتونی هر کسی که دلت بخواد باشی.
When you put on your mask, you can be anyone you want to be.
And that must feel liberating.
Yes. It makes me feel free.
Look at her face. She understands. Now she sees what's happening there. That's exactly what's happening right now in Australia with the coaches and the Iranian team.
Nobel Prize winner Narges Mohammadi is currently in a prison in Tehran for championing women's rights.
Stop the interview right now.
I'm sorry, is there a problem?
No politics. We agreed.
We'll cut the question, keep it strictly to sports. All good.
I'm sorry, I completely understand.
This is, guys, how it's happening in these places in the world. There's no free press in Palestine, in Syria, in Lebanon, even in countries like Jordan, in Saudi Arabia. There's no free press there, let alone in Iran and other places, Afghanistan, Iraq. And women have no say. It's literally a society that is ruled by misogynist, radical jihadist men, and they're doing whatever they want to whoever they want. And right now it's happening with the Australian female team, and I think we should keep them in our thoughts and our prayers, and we should definitely help promote that message. And FIFA, shame on you for not standing up for them. Shame on you. This is literally, it's actually shame on so many football players right now. Why am I not seeing Ronaldo and others right now standing up, or Mbappe, I don't know his name, or these guys standing right now and just shouting, protect Iranian women, hands off the Iranian female football team, and just, don't harm them, don't touch their families. Why aren't they shaming Iran right now, shaming radical Islam? Well, I'll tell you why. Because they've been bought. Because so many radical Muslim countries like Qatar and Turkey and others have literally spent so much time and effort, Saudi Arabia, in buying all these gaming events. It starts from football gaming, sport gaming, all the way to computer gamings. Everything that the young generations today love and admire, they have managed to buy and control, and with that they control the narrative. And that's why it's so dangerous, and that's why I keep saying in my videos that the next frontier is going to be online game streaming. It's not going to be podcasts. It's not going to be CNN or Fox News. These things will die with our parents. Once they go, no one is going to listen to Fox News and mainstream media anymore. Well, it's going to be just very rarely. It's going to be like, the news, the paper newspapers. No one reads them anymore. And now everybody is into podcasts and streaming. And I'm telling you what, it's going to be online game streaming. The next president of the United States, you're going to find Marco Rubio and J.D. Vance competing against each other with a baseball bat on GTA 6, trying to run around and convince all of the young and older voters that are just gamers that they are the best candidate to be elected, because that's where media is going to go and that's where all the attention will go. And we just need to stand for these women. So I'm telling you, that's why you're not hearing all these groups like FIFA and all kind of sport gaming platforms right now talking about this, because they've been heavily compromised and controlled, and we should definitely stand against that before it's too late, before we find ourselves waking up again and realizing what happened. How come all of the media is anti-Semitic, anti-Western values, pro-communism and pro-jihad? Because again, we fell asleep on our noses and haven't paid attention to what's happening. Either way, guys, thank you for watching. Don't do anything stupid in general. Just don't do anything that I would do. And don't forget, do the like, share, subscribe. And if you want to help this channel keep growing and help support the work that I'm doing for you, go and check my Patreon, where you can find direct, practical ways to support the work that I'm doing on a monthly basis, so I can keep doing these videos for you. Stay safe. See you next time.